Hi YouTube, and welcome back to my Let's Play Minecraft on Mondays. So with last week I began this new series where I am building out a fairly large castle, and here since I've finished last week the initial gate, and I've also finished the drawbridge out towards the castle, I am now working on one side of the castle walls. So I'm kind of doing, if you're facing the castle from the front, the walls to the right of the gate. And that's what we're going to be watching here. And you can see here, one of the things I'm doing is I'm kind of building out some of the foundation below the right side of the castle, because there really isn't enough ground for me to build out what I want for this side of the castle. So I am just kind of filling some things in with some stone. I am in creative mode, so I have unlimited amounts of stone that I can use. The main reason I'm doing this in creative mode is because this castle is just going to be too massive, and it would take far too long to scrounge up all the materials I would need to build this castle, and would be, you know, boring not only for people to watch, but boring for me to play, in my opinion. So, be that as it may, yeah, so I kind of really needed this side to be built out a lot more. The next week, you'll probably see me building out the left side walls, etc. And I won't need to build out as much ground on that side for that. But I decided to kind of go over here first, just to see how far out I needed to build things out, because I'm trying to do this sort of, I think a hexagonal kind of a structure with the wall, and you'll see how I'm building that out over time. You can kind of see the direction I'm going with the red brick right now, and that's eventually going to wrap around. But I want to get 6 blocks out first, and then go 6 across, and then 6 back, etc. Just kind of wrapping it around so that it's kind of like a 3/4 circle type of a thing. And so here I've just got to kind of build out a lot more foundation before I can do that. And eventually I just end up just kind of putting up a stone platform and not building the stone all the way down to the ground, because it just would take too long, and I may or may not still fill that out over time, depending. I'm just kind of working out how much stone I need, and how far out I need to build this and everything. And part of this water is going to be, not this water necessarily, but there's some other water that is going to be directly below where the castle is being built. And I'm trying to decide if I kind of want to have that as sort of an underground grotto underneath the castle, or if I'm just going to kind of brick it all off. Haven't quite decided exactly how I'm going to do that. I haven't figured out exactly how I want to build out the castle interior yet either. I'm kind of starting with the shell and kind of figuring out how I want to design the shell. I do have a particular castle that I'm kind of using as inspiration for this, and there is a link down below in the description if you want to see the pictures of it. And I'm kind of taking inspiration on the shell of this castle from that castle, but that's about as far as it's going. And I'm kind of, you know, kind of doing my own little things with it, based on the surrounding nature that I'm building this into. I mean, obviously I'm knocking down a lot of stuff as well, but at the same time, kind of like, okay, figuring out how far in the back I want to go, and what structure and shape I want in the back of the castle. And actually, the castle I'm taking inspiration for, I don't have any shots of the back of the castle, so I've kind of come up with my own ideas on that. And I may or may not do the same kind of battlements or hexagonal type shape on all 4 corners of the castle. I haven't decided exactly yet how I want to do that. I could just do these in the front and just kind of square off the back of the castle as well. It just kind of depends on how things ultimately flow as I'm building out the rest of the shell of the castle. And then from there, obviously, I'm going to need to build different levels and staircases and kind of figure out, you know, putting in rooms and kind of designing the rest of the interior of the castle. But one thing at a time. Alright, so let's see, I'm kind of doing that. Then I think I realized that yeah, so here I'm building that part out there. And then here, I'm like, oh, look at that. That looks like a natural staircase down to the water. Maybe I'll leave it that way. So just kind of building that out. Figuring that. Okay, so now here you can see I'm kind of bringing this back in a little bit. Because I want it to be, you know, a nice kind of almost 3/4 circle shape here. And then from there, I'm going to go ahead and build back. And for right now, I'm building back about 20 blocks. I don't know if I'm going to build the castle much longer than that. I haven't quite decided. I'm just going back 20 blocks, building out the whole shell, the entire height of it and everything. And then I'm going to figure out, like, at 20 blocks, you know, is that going to be the exact back of the castle? Do I want to bring it further back? That kind of thing. I haven't quite decided yet. And there's going to be quite a lot of clearing I'm still going to have to do. And here you can see, here's some of that water that, like I said, is going to be below the castle interior. And so this could actually be like an underground grotto, or I could shape it out to be like an underground swimming pool, perhaps. You know, I'm still kind of working on how I want to handle all that. But here I need to obviously clear away some of the ground and trees and things to bring the castle back by 20 blocks. And then we'll kind of go from there and figure out exactly how far back I want to go. As you can see, I've got sheep wandering around here, and I'm going to leave the sheep alone. Since I'm in creative mode, it's not like I need the sheep's wool. I've got plenty of wool, not to mention pre-made beds and everything in this. And here I'm double checking how many blocks there are. You can tell that I'm kind of counting the blocks. And I think I figured out that that's as far as I needed to go. Or maybe I needed to go one further. Nope, a couple more. And if I take the castle much further back, you can see the hill behind there. I'm going to have to, you know, level that out, which will be a lot of work. And there's a lot of clearing just in this direction as well. But all of this will be castle interior eventually. I just thought I'd, you know, start doing some of the clearing over here, but I'm not going to clear everything just yet. Right now I'm just trying to get the walls put in and get, you know, as much of that done as possible. But then eventually I'm going to have to come through and just clear out all the trees and all that kind of thing. But there we go. So now I'm going back to building up the wall. And obviously this looks like a little bridge going over this water right now, but I am going to bring the stone foundation down and cut off some of that water, but part of that water is going to remain under the castle, and I've got to figure out how I want to handle that, if I want to have access to it, that kind of thing. Alright, so now I'm trying to figure out, design-wise, do I want another layer of brick? And I've decided yes, I do. I do want to do a layer of mossy stone throughout as well, just to kind of give it a little bit of a design element. And that's also coming from inspiration from that castle that I'm kind of using as sort of my initial blueprint. And I'm just kind of taking my own taking my own spin on that castle, but there will be a link in the description below in terms of the castle that I'm using as inspiration, and you will recognize a lot of the initial structure that I'm building out here from that particular castle. But then the rest of it is all going to be entirely me and what I want in the castle and how I want the castle to look both inside and out, etc. Alrighty, so we've got that going on. So we got now 2 layers of this particular wall built out. And now I'm going to go ahead and put in the mossy stone look. And I'm just kind of going one at a time right through. There probably is a faster way of doing this, and I've read about mods where you can kind of like select here and boom, it's going to fill things in and that kind of stuff. And I'm not using any mods on this particular build at all. The only thing I'm using is the Sphax PureBDCraft texture pack. I'm sure you realize I'm not using a standard texture pack, but I'm not using any mods, just that texture pack, just because I happen to like the way this particular texture pack looks. One thing I talked about last week was that I'm probably going to redo the drawbridge a little bit and do it in mossy stone and red brick rather than the way it is now with the sandstone and the regular stone. But I have not gotten around to doing that yet. That might be another week or two before you see that change come in. And it is getting a bit dark here, and I decided to keep playing. And last week someone did leave me a comment on my video giving me a command I can use to keep it daylight all the time. But all this footage was recorded at the same time as last week's footage. In fact, I have about 3 or 4 episodes worth of footage that I filmed all at one go. So obviously that comment, while it was appreciated, you won't see me using it yet just because I'd already filmed this footage and I'm not going to go back and try to refilm it because I'd have to tear everything down that I've already built, and that would be silly. So I do appreciate that comment, but it obviously was something that I won't be able to implement right away. So there's the gate, a nice view of the gate there, and part of the wall, and you can kind of see where I'm going with that structure of it. And there I kind of used the bed to skip the rest of the nighttime. And here I'm just going to go ahead and build up a lot more of the wall all at once. I was kind of doing 1 brick at a time, and now I'm doing 3 at a time, building it out because I wanted to go faster, and I now have that that double strip of mossy stone that I wanted. So I am kind of building out the rest of the wall. And then the next thing that I'm going to be building in, but that won't happen until next episode, is putting in some windows and that type of thing. But for now, I just need to kind of finish building out some of the walls here, and I'm definitely going to be building out a similar wall structure on the other side next week. So that's definitely sort of like what you can expect to see in the next few episodes. It's just me kind of continuing to build out the shell structure, putting in the windows. I haven't quite figured out exactly how tall I want to make this yet, but it's going to be quite tall. It's definitely going to be taller than it is wide. I mean, the interior is going to be enormous one way or the other, but it's going to be quite a tall structure. I mean, from the gate you can see how tall the gate alone is, and the rest of the castle is going to be even taller than the gate, because the gate would look kind of silly if it wasn't at least twice the height of the gate. in my opinion. So it's definitely going to be very, very tall. And so there's going to be many levels within the castle, and many rooms and things I'm going to have to build out. And I may or may not film all of it. If you enjoy watching me build out every single thing, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, you know, I may fast forward or skip bits and pieces here and there if people find some of that boring at all. But thanks for joining me this week. Until next week, take care. Bye-bye.